The sun was hot in the sky. The wind did not blow. The trees stood still. Sarah sat inside a small house. She held two baby girls in her arms. Their names were Emma and Ella. They were twins. They were only 1 month old. They were small, soft, and sweet. But today they were crying. Sarah looked at her babies. Her heart felt heavy. "Don't cry, my darlings," she whispered. "Mama is here. Mama loves you. I will take care of you." But Sarah was tired. Her body hurt. Her head felt dizzy. She had no food. She had not eaten since last night. She had no money. Her breast milk was drying up. She was hungry. And her babies were hungry too. Derelict house, no help at home. Sarah looked around her house. It was very small. The roof was broken. The fan did not work. The bed was hard. There was no food in the kitchen. Sarah's husband, George, was not there. He left early in the morning. He said nothing when he left. He did not tell her where he was going. He did not bring money. He did not buy food. He did not say goodbye. Sarah felt sad. George used to be kind. He used to smile. He used to say, "I love you," but now George was cold. He came home late. Sometimes he did not come home at all. Sarah wanted to cry, but she stayed strong. Sarah tied her babies to her chest with an old cloth. She used one hand to hold them. She used her other hand to hold the door. "I will go see Anita," she said to herself. "She is my best friend. She will help us." Anita lived just 2 streets away. Sarah and Anita were friends in school. They used to laugh together, cook together, and help each other. Sarah walked slowly down the road. Her feet were tired. The sun was hot, but she kept walking. She kept talking to her babies. "Don't cry, Emma. Don't cry, Ella. Mama will find food today." Sarah reached Anita's house. She knocked on the door. Knock, knock. No answer. She knocked again. Knock, knock, knock. Still no answer. Sarah looked at the door. It was open, just a little. She pushed it gently. It opened. "Anita?" she called. No answer. She stepped inside. The house was quiet. Then she heard laughter. It came from the bedroom. She knew the voice. It was George. Sarah's heart beat fast. She walked slowly to the bedroom door. It was not closed. She looked inside. What she saw made her stop. Her legs felt weak. George was on the bed. He had no shirt on. He was laughing and drinking malt. Beside him was Anita, her best friend. Anita had a short wrapper on. They were eating meat and laughing together. Sarah's mouth opened, but no sound came out. Her eyes filled with tears. Her baby started to cry louder. George looked at her and said, "Why are you here? Can't you knock?" Anita rolled her eyes. "Why are you acting crazy?" she said. Sarah's lips shook. "I came to ask for help. My babies are hungry. We have no food." George stood up and laughed. "So what? You gave me 2 girls. I wanted a boy. Girls are useless." Anita smiled. "She should be happy you stayed this long." Sarah looked at them. "They are only 1 month old, and you are blaming them for being girls." George said, "You can't have more babies. Your body is broken. You are a waste." Anita laughed again. Sarah turned to Anita. "You were my friend. How can you do this to me?" Anita said, "The heart wants what it wants." Sarah held her babies close. She stepped back. "I didn't come here to beg for love. I came to feed my children. But God is watching you." George laughed. "Tell God to send you food, then." Sarah said no more. She turned around and left the house. Her babies were still crying. The sun was still hot, but her heart was hotter. It was full of pain and fire. Sarah walked home. She did not know where her feet were going. She just walked and walked. When she got home, she sat on the floor. She looked at her babies. She looked at her small, broken house. She took a deep breath. "George left us," she said, "but I will not leave you. I am your mama. I will take care of you." She kissed their small heads. She held them tight. "I don't know how," she whispered. "I don't know when, but I promise you, Emma and Ella, you will go to school. You will have a good life. Even if I must sell this house, even if I must go hungry, I will never stop loving you." Sarah did not cry. She looked at the roof. It had holes. It leaked when it rained, but this was her home. She looked at her babies again, and she made a promise. A big, strong, forever promise. "I will fight for you," she said. "I will work. I will beg. I will do anything, but I will not give up." 5 years had passed. The sun still shined hot in the sky. The streets were still dusty, but things had changed. Emma and Ella were now 5 years old. They were big girls. They were happy and full of energy. They laughed. They ran. They played in the sand near their small house. Sarah, their mother, sat on a small wooden bench. She watched them with love in her eyes. She smiled, but inside her heart, she felt something heavy. "It is time for them to go to school," she thought. "They are smart. They are ready. But I don't have enough money." Sarah worked very hard. Every day, she washed clothes for people. She cleaned houses. She swept shops. She carried heavy loads in the market. She did every small job she could find. She saved every coin she got. But it was not enough. School fees cost a lot. Books and shoes cost money too. Her savings were small. What should I do? She thought. I need help. She remembered Mr. Johnson, a man who was her husband George's old friend. He lived 2 streets away. People said he had money. Maybe he could help. Sarah dressed in her cleanest wrapper. She tied her hair neatly. She held her bag and walked to Mr. Johnson's house. Her heart was full of hope. She knocked on the door. Knock, knock. Mr. Johnson opened the door with a big smile. Sarah, wow, you look good. Come in, come in. Sarah sat down. She looked around the room. The chairs were old, and the house smelled like old soup, but everything was neat. I came to ask for help, she said softly. I want to send my daughters to school. They are 5 now. I have saved some money, but it is not enough. I need more to buy books and pay the school fees. Mr. Johnson smiled, but not kindly. He laughed a little. You want to send girls to school? Why? Girls don't need school. Just teach them how to cook or sew. They will get married anyway. Sarah's eyes became wide. No, she said. My daughters are smart. They will go to school. They can become anything they want. Mr. Johnson looked at her and leaned forward. I can help you, he said, but I want something too. Sarah frowned. What do you mean? I want you, he said with a smile. Be my wife. I have 4 wives already. You can be the 5th. I will give you money. I will buy you clothes. I will take care of your girls. Sarah stood up. You want to buy me? You want to use me? No, I came here for help, not to sell myself. Mr. Johnson laughed. Think well, Sarah. Life is hard. You are poor. This is your chance. Sarah shook her head. No, my girls will walk to school with no shoes. I will suffer, but I will never sell myself for money. You are not helping me. You are trying to use me. I am not a toy. Mr. Johnson became angry. Then get out. Sarah picked up her bag. She walked out with her head high. Her heart was burning, but her spirit was strong. That night, Sarah could not sleep. She looked at her daughters. They were sleeping peacefully. She thought about her promise. I said I would give them a good life. I said I would do anything. She looked around the room. Then she made a big, hard choice. I will sell this house. It was the only thing she owned. It was old. It was broken, but it was her home. Her father built it before he died. She gave birth to Emma and Ella here. Selling it was like cutting her heart in 2, but she did it. A man came to look at the house. He wore a cap and held a notebook. This house is too old, he said. The roof is bad. The walls are weak, but I will buy it because it is in a good place. He gave Sarah a brown envelope full of money. She did not count it. She just said, thank you. Sarah was now homeless, but she was not hopeless. Sarah used the money to pay the school fees. She bought books. She bought small uniforms. She bought shoes and bags. She paid the fees for many years. She gave the rest of the money to food and rent. But rent ran out fast. She had no house. So she moved with her girls to a half-built building behind the market. There was no door, no windows, no floor, just cement blocks and dust. They slept on old cloth. When it rained, they used bowls to catch water. But Sarah never stopped smiling. She never stopped working. She cleaned shops. She carried heavy bags. She washed clothes all day. And every night, her girls ate something, even if it was just soaked Gary. One day, Sarah was washing clothes outside. An old woman walked past. She looked at the broken building. You live here? She asked. Yes, Ma, Sarah said, with my daughters. The old woman looked at Emma and Ella. They were reading under a window. Their feet were dusty. Their clothes were torn, but they looked happy and smart. The old woman smiled. Come live with me, she said. My house is big. I live alone. You don't have to pay. Sarah fell to her knees. She cried happy tears. Thank you, Ma. May God bless you. Sarah and her girls moved into the old woman's house. It had 3 rooms, clean water, and a small garden. The woman treated them like family. She helped the girls. She cooked with them. She prayed with them. Sarah felt peace for the first time in a long time. Years passed. Emma and Ella grew into smart, strong young women. They worked hard in school. They read every night. They dreamed big dreams. Emma wanted to be a lawyer. Ella wanted to be a lawyer too. They said, let's do it together. The house was full of books, laughter, and hope. Sarah watched them grow with pride. My babies, she thought, are going to change the world. Many years passed. Emma and Ella were now young women. They wore black gowns and hats. They had finished university. They had become lawyers, just like they dreamed. It was graduation day. Their names were called. People clapped and cheered. Emma Thompson, Ella Thompson. The 2 sisters walked across the stage with big smiles. They were the best students in their class. After the big event, they ran home. Their mother, Sarah, was waiting outside. She wore a clean dress and had tears in her eyes. "Mama," the girls shouted. They dropped their bags and hugged her. "We did it, Mama. We made it." Sarah cried and laughed at the same time. She kissed their cheeks. "You both made me the happiest mother in the world." It was a day full of joy, but someone was missing. The old woman who gave him a home had died the year before. "She should be here," Emma said softly. "She helped us so much," Ella added. They lit a small candle and placed it by her favorite flower in the garden. Then they held hands and prayed. George was alone. George, their father, lived far away in a small room. He looked old and tired. His back hurt. His clothes were dirty. His face looked sad. He was poor. He had no job. He ran errands for rich people. He cleaned cars and fetched water. No one respected him. One day, he heard people talking at a barber shop. "Do you know Sarah's twin girls?" "Yes, they are lawyers now. Top of their class. That woman is strong. She raised them alone. Their father was foolish to leave her." George felt like the ground would open. His hands shook. He said nothing, but he heard every word. His daughters, his own daughters, were now successful, and he had done nothing for them. He walked home slowly. When he got there, he saw Anita, the woman he had chosen instead of Sarah. She was laughing on the phone. She threw her bag on the floor. "George," she shouted, "did you wash the plates? What about the clothes?" George didn't answer. "You are lazy," she yelled. "You do nothing all day." George looked at her and said, "You ruined my life." Anita stopped. "What did you say?" "You made me leave my wife, my girls, my home. And for what? This." He looked around the dirty room. Anita folded her arms. "Don't blame me. You were stupid. You chose me." George shouted, "Yes, I was stupid. You gave me nothing. No love, no children, only pain." Anita laughed. "At least I bring money. What do you bring?" "Nothing." George shook his head. "I left a queen for a snake." Later that week, Anita had a guest. His name was Chief Roland. He was a rich man, but not a good man. He came to visit. She wore a red dress. She cooked a fancy meal. She gave him wine. But then she got angry. "You said you would buy me a car. You promised me clothes. But you gave me nothing." Chief Roland stood up and shouted, "You're lucky I even visit you." They fought. He pushed her hard. She fell. Her head hit the table. She did not move. Anita was dead. Chief Roland was scared. He didn't want to go to jail. So he lied. He called the police and said, "I found Anita dead, but her ex-husband George used to fight her. I think he did it." The police came to George's room. "George Williams, you're under arrest for murder." "What?" George shouted. "I didn't kill anyone. I haven't seen her in weeks." But the police didn't listen. They took him away. At court, the trial was fast. No one helped George. The lawyer did not defend him. The judge said, "You are guilty. You will be hanged in 60 days. George cried in his cell every day. He had no visitors, no money, no one to believe him. One day, his old friend Mark came to visit. George ran to the bars. "Mark, please, help me. I didn't kill her. Please go to Sarah. Go to my daughters. I want to say sorry. I don't want to die without their forgiveness." Mark said, "I believe you, but I have no money. I can't fight the rich man who lied. Just tell them I'm sorry." George said, "I know I left gold for garbage. I know now. Please, just tell them." Mark found Ella at her law office. "I need to talk to you," he said. "Your father is in jail. He has been sentenced to death. But he didn't kill Anita. He was framed. He just wants your forgiveness." Ella frowned. "He left us. He never came back. He never helped Mama." "I know," Mark said, "but now he is sorry. Truly sorry." Ella said nothing for a long time. Then she said, "Come back in 2 weeks. I will talk to my sister and my mom." Ella and Emma sat with their mom. "Mom," Ella said, "we need to talk. It's about Dad." Sarah stood up quickly. Don't call him that. He left us. He hurt me. He is in jail, Emma said. He didn't kill Anita, but he's going to die. He wants to say sorry. I don't care, Sarah said. Where was he when we had nothing? When I begged for food? He's not asking for help, Ella said softly. Just forgiveness, so he can rest. Sarah shook her head. I will never forgive him. Mama, Emma said, please, not for him, for you, so you don't carry this pain forever. Sarah looked at her daughters. Then she sighed. Fine, she said. We will go. At the prison, George sat in the visitor room. He looked weak and thin. Then he saw them, Sarah, Emma, and Ella. He stood up and fell to his knees. Sarah, my daughters. Sarah looked at him. Look at them. These are the girls you left behind. I raised them. I kept my promise. George cried. I'm so sorry. I don't deserve anything. Sarah said, you don't, but I forgive you, because I won't carry your mistake anymore. Ella and Emma moved close. We forgive you too, Ella said. Not because of what you did, but because we want peace. George cried harder. Thank you, thank you. Emma smiled. You are not going to die, Papa. George looked up in shock. We are lawyers, Ella said. We are going to fight for you. The girls worked fast. They read the court papers. They looked for mistakes. They found an old man who had a camera. It showed a video. In the video, Chief Rowland entered Anita's house. Later, he ran out looking scared. That video saved George. They took it to the judge. Chief Rowland was arrested. He confessed. The judge said, George Williams, you are free. You were not guilty. Chief Rowland will go to prison for life. George walked out of prison. He saw Sarah and his daughters waiting. He fell to the ground. Thank you. Thank you for saving me. I don't deserve it. Sarah helped him up. Let's go home. And for the first time in many years, George was no longer a lost man. He was a father with a second chance.